one of those partly true things that, like, I lack plausible deniability. 6 years before I wrote Choice of Honor, while I was driving back and forth to work at the hospital, I was working on, sort of Mary Sue fanfic like that. But I never wrote it. And then I wrote the Dreamweaver's Dilemma story in late 1982, which started the Miles universe. It was sort of proto-Miles universe. It was actually a mystery story that took place on Earth, but one of the characters had been one of the sublight colonists who'd settled Beta Colony and come back. And so it sort of gave me the start of the universe. And then I said, okay, I want to write a novel. What do I want to write? Sort of the template of this whole fanfic idea, and the new universe came together. And I said, I will write this romance the way it ought to be. Not with Klingons, but going back behind Klingons to things that inspired them, like Japanese samurai, and like Russian aristocracy, and like the Junkers of Prussia, sort of the historical antecedents of that particular set of tropes. So once again, sort of like going around behind the stage setting and finding what's back there. So it's kind of true and kind of not, and that became Shards of Honor, and then it became its own thing and went off from there. Way in the back and then here. Gentleman First Lady. Stop. You, yes, or woman? Yeah, okay. I couldn't see you back then. Yeah. Yes, GURPS for Cosine is finally coming out in October. Yeah, that'll be a good question to ask again in the interview if it comes up. I was involved with that. I was down in Texas, in Austin, for a convention in about the year 2000. Talked to Steve Jackson about making GURPS for Cosine, because he was a Miles fan back then, even then. We got started on it. Jean-Pierre Cogman turned in a very nice script, for it, and we got stalled on the artwork. We kept sort of shooting artists out from under. One of them got a broken arm during the middle of it. And there were other delays, and it finally came together. It's finally come together. The artwork, I've been very much involved in the artwork on the characters, trying to keep them kind of in spec. They won't look like everybody's Errol and Cordelia, but at least they'll have the right hair color and height. And a few other things. They have a very good Errol and Miles, and very good at Catherine. Cordelia, we weren't quite able to settle in on, but we got some things right with it. I had paid no attention to the artwork on the assorted equipment, because you know how much I do equipment. Yes, there it is, it works. So that's kind of all out of the artist's imagination. They had to do that work. And it's finally come together. It's actually going to be in print if some disaster doesn't happen. There's a book by Donald Westlake called A Likely Story, which is the tale of a book. It's going to be a Christmas book, and it's a book in which every possible thing that can go wrong with the book publishing process does, right up to the end. It is just a stitch. It was original paperback from Tor. I don't know if it's ever been reprinted, but if you can find it, it's great. Who knows? Yeah. It's a lady with the gray hair, and then we have to stop and read. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Audible. I've actually not listened to most of the tapes because I haven't had time, basically. I don't commute and I don't do anything that that would allow me to listen while I'm doing something else. I'm reading or watching TV, or I'm trying to write, and that doesn't go with listening to an audiobook. I'm very pleased with their sales. The downloaded audiobooks have just exploded the market. I'm doing 95 to 99% of my audiobook sales are MP3 downloads over the internet. It's been great. So they've been doing a great job of getting the books out to the market. Narrator style seems to be also a little bit of a matter of taste, whether it fits your internal cadences properly or not. A lot of people, like my agent, is a huge fan of Grover Gardner. So I'm pleased with them, and one of these days I'll get around to listening to them. Maybe I'll take up knitting.